Los Angeles, here's Larry King.
Good evening. Before we start, we'd like to welcome Rick Kaplan to the fold from ABC. He's the new president of CNN USA under Tom Johnson, our chairman and CEO. It's great to have Rick with us as part of this great team at this wonderful network. 35 years ago today, America and the world lost a very bright star and some of our innocence at the same time. On the morning of August 5th, 1962, Marilyn Monroe's housekeeper found her dead in her home in Brentwood, California. There were and still are a lot of unanswered questions surrounding that death. But tonight we're celebrating Marilyn Monroe's life, career, and legend. We have a wonderful panel of guests with us for this special edition of Larry King Live. All of them are at our studios here in Los Angeles. Actor, comedian, legend himself, Milton Berle. He first met Marilyn Monroe in 1949 and later starred with her in the movie Let's Make Love. Hope Lang, who co-starred with Marilyn in the critically acclaimed 1956 movie Bus Stop. Another legend, Mickey Rooney. What a man. He helped Marilyn get a part in her 1950 movie The Fireball. The noted photographer, George Barris, he has produced a pictorial book, 2 of them on Marilyn Monroe, and took what are believed to be the last pictures of her in July of 1962. And our perennial favorite, my man Robert Wagner, longtime TV and film star. He appeared with Marilyn in the 1951 film Let's Make It Legal and did 2 screen tests with her for 20th Century Fox. Hope Lang, when did you meet Marilyn?
On the set of Bus Stop.
You were in the movie with her, and you had
Yes.
not known her before?
No, I'd never met her before.
Like her?
And, she was very pleasant. One didn't get to know her very well.
Difficult to work with?
It wasn't so much that she was difficult, but you had to take it as a given that it would be 25, 30 takes every scene. And that was very hard on the actors who were working with her. And
how about the scenes with Don Murray, Debbie?
Well, it was very, very difficult for Don. He was just recovering from pneumonia. And he was still running a fever. And he had to play this muscular, strong, crazy cowboy. And it take after take. It was hard. He's a very patient man.
How'd you first meet her, Mick?
I met her when she arrived at Ray Anthony's home on Ventura Boulevard.
The trumpet band?
In 1936. And I put her in the car and drove her in, and I said, "You've got to change your name, Norma Jean."
Her name was Norma Jean.
And, of course, she had been married when she was 14 to somebody up, a policeman, I believe, in San Francisco. She told me very slightly. And then finally I said, "Well, I see you as Marilyn," because Marilyn Miller was one of our greatest stars. And at that time, well, she told me, she says, I said, "Is that really Norma Jean and then your married name?" I didn't know, concisely.
But how would you come to give her new name?
Well, the phone rang, and it was Monroe Manning, who was a writer that you could give a beginning, a middle, and an end. He'd have a complete script for you in 3 days. He's passed away since then. He was a former leading man. And I said, "Monroe, I'm talking with someone now. I don't mean to be rude. May I call you right back?" And he said, "Of course, Mick." And I hung up, and I went, and I did a double take, Larry. And she says, "What's the matter, Mickey?" And I said, "I was talking to your last name." She said, "Who's that?" And I said, "Monroe." Phonetically, and the iambic pentameter of the name is so perfectly right.
You gave her the name?
No, I did in a way, but I did without any equivocation. I took her to Johnny Hyde's home, who was the head of the William Morris office. And I said, "Johnny, I've got the most beautiful star in the world, and I want you to meet her." So I brought her over to the house. He had dinner. He was sitting at the
Did you introduce her as Marilyn Monroe?
I introduced Johnny Hyde.
Did you introduce her as Marilyn Monroe?
As Marilyn Monroe.
Okay. All right, just stop right there.
That's right.
We'll stop. Milton.
Yeah.
How'd you first meet her?
Well, the first time I met her was in 1949. In 49, and I was doing a picture out here called Always Leave 'Em Laughing, which they didn't. And
Got that
no single laughing,
okay.
please. And I had a few days off, so I went to visit Columbia Studio, and Harry Cohn, who was the president at that time, was a very good friend of mine, and I had lunch with him, and he said, "Would you like to see what we're shooting on the set?" I said, "Sure." So he took me to a set, and I saw this picture, and the name of the picture, what the heck was the name of the picture? Oh, well, two sisters, mother and daughter. They played two sisters, and I said, "Who's that girl over there?" He said, "Well, that's Marilyn Monroe." I said, "Oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. Look at the shape on her. Look at the face." He says, "Yeah, she's something, isn't she?" I said, "Yeah."
She's what, about 22?
I don't know how old she is.
No, she was younger than that.
I'm not talking to you.
Okay.
Well, you had your shot, and the bullet didn't work.
So what?
Anyway, laugh it up. I laugh when you get dressed.
It's a memorial.
I know it's a memorial, but let's add a little humor to it, because memorials and eulogies I do not like, but this eulogy I am.
You spot this
It's a
girl,
great memorial.
She's gorgeous.
This eulogy,
So I saw her.
is a memorial.
Hold it, Mickey, please.
Okay.
All right, I will if you will.
Wait.
I'll speak to you when you're well dressed.
Give the host a break. Okay.
So I met her, and
I'll get to Robert and George in a minute.
My
because
God.
we're expecting normalcy any minute. All right, you spotted her. She's
You
beautiful.
want to know the truth or not?
Yes.
Well, then ask me the right question without this.
What the right question? It's a
midget
difficult
in-
question.
But you know
How
who
did you
made
meet
her? Johnny Hyde.
I
how'd
didn't
you-
say that.
Okay, how'd you meet her? All right, she's standing there. You say she's beautiful.
So I met her, and she looked at me, and I was on television at the time, and she said, "Oh, my God, it's Uncle Milty." I said, "Well, it's not Grandpa Kramer." Yeah, she said, and I liked her very much. She was beautiful, and I was not married at the time. I was in between marriages. You should know about that. And
I'm letting that go right by.
Excuse me, I know all about that if you want to.
nobody, I'm talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Give me a shot
Are
here.
you saying you took her out?
So I made a date with her, and I took her out. I was between marriages, so it was okay. And we went around. We had a lot of dinners and everything. One thing about Marilyn that I must say, she was completely the antithesis of what she looked like on the screen. She was really a tomboy to me. She liked to dress in slacks, no makeup and anything. She wasn't that glamorous. She didn't act glamorous. And we went, and I remember very well, we drove to way out to the beach, and she used to like junk food. She stopped for hamburgers and everything, and we had a lot of laughs.
She was a child.
All right, let me get a break. We'll come right back and hear George and Robert tell their side and the story as they meet Marilyn Monroe. 35 years ago today, she left us. Whew, hard to believe. We'll be right back. We're back. Robert Wagner, don't automatically associate you with Marilyn Monroe. Take me back.
Well, you know, Larry, we were all kind of started at the same time. And my daughter's mother, Marion Marshall, and Marilyn Monroe were both under contract to Fox at the same time. As a matter of fact, they were taken down to, you used to have to go downtown, you know, when you have to have part of your salary given to, taken and put into a fund so that they wouldn't spend it. And she was then about 19 or 20. And the two M's were taken down there, Marion Marshall and Marilyn Monroe. And then I did her screen test with her. I did 2 of them with her. They signed her at Fox, and then they dropped her, and then they brought her back again. And I did 2 of them.
We see there's a picture of her sitting on your lap. What was this occasion?
That was a screen test. That was one of the screen tests at Fox that I did. And
Did you like her?
Oh, I thought she was great. I thought she was absolutely wonderful. She had a great sense of humor. And as Milton says, you know, she was so fresh and so honest and so direct. Really a wonderful, wonderful girl.
The camera liked her, too, right?
Oh,
how did she do on the screen test?
Drank her up. Oh, she was absolutely marvelous. I mean, she was so special and had such great humor. I mean, I thought. And
did you remain friends?
Yes, we did, yeah.
Up to her death?